The Western Front, 1915. A line of dirt, mud, and misery stretched from the North Sea down to Switzerland. Young men marched into the war believing it would be over by Christmas. But instead, they dug into the earth and entered one of the harshest battle environments in human history. The trenches. Life in the trenches was nothing like the glory they imagined. The ground was always wet. Rain turned the narrow walkways into deep mud that swallowed boots, blankets, and sometimes entire soldiers. The smell hung heavy in the air, a mix of rot, gunpowder, sweat, and fear. Rats grew as large as cats, feeding on anything they could find. Food, equipment, and sometimes things no soldier wanted to think about. Every morning before sunrise, soldiers prepared for a potential attack in a routine known as Stand To. Sleep was never guaranteed. A man might close his eyes for a few minutes, only to be jolted awake by artillery shells screaming overhead. The thunder of explosions became part of daily life, constant, violent, and unforgettable. Gas attacks added a new terror. A strange greenish cloud drifting across the battlefield meant chlorine or mustard gas. Soldiers desperately pulled on gas masks that sometimes leaked, cracked, or arrived too late. Even a single breath could scar a man's lungs forever. Many collapsed, gasping for air, praying for the wind to change direction. But the deadliest place of all was the land between the trenches, no man's land. A wasteland of barbed wire, shattered trees, smoking craters, and the memories of men who never returned. When commanders ordered an assault, soldiers climbed the ladders, ran into open fire, and hoped they wouldn't be one of the hundreds cut down in the first few seconds. Some shell craters were deep enough to hide in, but when it rained, they filled with water. Soldiers who jumped into them sometimes drowned before help arrived. The artillery barrage didn't just destroy bodies, it broke minds. Many soldiers suffered what was then called shell shock, trembling uncontrollably or falling silent as if their spirits had been torn apart. And yet, even in this hell, humanity found moments to breathe. Soldiers shared letters from home, passing around photos of wives, girlfriends, and children they prayed to see again. Some carved small wooden figures, others wrote diaries to keep themselves sane. On quiet nights, when guns went silent for a moment, both sides could hear each other talking, singing, or laughing in the distance. Reminders that the enemy was often just another young man trapped in the same nightmare. But the war dragged on, month after month, year after year. The trenches barely moved, yet the casualties climbed into the millions. Battles like the Somme and Verdun turned entire landscapes into lifeless wastelands where not a single tree or bird survived. By the time the war ended in 1918, trench warfare had become a symbol of sacrifice, suffering, and unimaginable endurance. Soldiers returned home forever changed, carrying memories of mud, smoke, and endless fear. Trench warfare remains one of the darkest chapters in military history, a brutal reminder that sometimes the hardest battles are not fought to win ground, but simply to stay alive. What do you think really happened in those trenches? Let me know in the comments. And like, comment, share, and subscribe for more mysteries, The Driven Tales.